folks, Ray from Rainmaker.com here. Today we've got the new Fitbit IONIC GPS smartwatch. This is Fitbit's latest GPS watch. Their first one was the Fitbit Surge back a couple years ago. And then we had the Blaze, but the Blaze didn't actually have GPS inside of it. Instead, it leveraged your phone, but it did have a much nicer display than the Surge is. And this is sort of the pinnacle of all of Fitbit's past engineering, and actually the first watch that they've engineered totally in-house, both the software and the hardware. In the past, they actually outsourced some of the hardware pieces, versus now all the engineering is done inside or in-house. What I'm going to do here is a bit of an unboxing of the IONIC. I've also got here the Fitbit Flyer headphones and two straps there. I'll do the headphones in a separate unboxing video that you can check out up there. And then I'm going to do a much deeper dive into the IONIC itself, all the new features, all that cool stuff in another video that you'll see as well at the end here, just to keep things easy to sift through, otherwise they get way too long. So with that, let's get started. Now the box does come with both a large and small band inside. You can see that down the lower corner right there. So no worrying about having to buy the right size depending on what your wrist size is. You're good to go with the default bands in this box itself, whereas the accessory bands here are size specific. So if you look at these, for example, you'll notice that this is a large version of the sport band, and this is a large version of the brown leather band. So to crack open the box, we just got this simple tab right here. No need for a big knife or anything like that. And this will simply slide out. So pretty straightforward there. And then we go ahead and we have opened this clamshell design up, and the watch is looking at us right there. So we've got kind of a box down below, which is going to be our accessories and other extras, and then we have the watch sitting right there. Now there are three basic color models of the Fitbit IONIC, and those are the core watch band pieces, or this metal piece actually in particular right there. So you do want to decide which bezel you want. Regardless of the bands, you can always buy accessory bands later on, but first decide the bezel color, in particular if you're getting the orange color, because that's the one that looks least like the other two. So anyways, we've got the watch right there. We've then got this little box right here. This is going to be the manuals. And then below that here we have the small band. So the large band is already on this. And then we have the charger right there, hermetically sealed in a plastic papery bag thing. I don't know why. And then inside here, anything else? Nope, that's it. So that's all we got inside that there. So we'll move this out of the way for right now. There we go. So those are the four components we have to work with. We'll go and crack this charging thing open. Again, I'm not really sure why it needed to be all like medically sealed. So the charger goes on the bottom of this piece here. It just uses magnets to snap on. I haven't found it to be super strong. Like, some chargers from some watches you can swing around like a lasso if you wanted to. This is definitely not one of those. It's a little bit finicky. It's not, I would say, as strong or as stable as a lot of the previous Fitbit chargers have been. Still, it does work, and you just simply slide in like that right there, and it just holds on magnet-wise. But again, like, it doesn't take much to pop it off, versus some of the other watches have a snap and it stays put really well. So this is the watch itself. We'll get rid of the plastic bag. This is the watch itself. The first thing is the band. There's been a lot of comments on past Fitbit bands and falling off and stuff like that. I promise you this band will not fall off. In fact, probably the opposite. You'll probably find it kind of annoying. The material is pretty stiff. In fact, if I was to give probably my biggest complaint, if you will, about the IONIC and using it now, is the band itself. The default stock band just isn't that awesome. It's probably one of the worst bands I've had on a GPS watch in a while, which doesn't mean it's horrible. It's not like you're gonna make a decision over it, but it's the thing that probably sucks the most on this entire unit. The good news is you can swap them out really easily. So it's similar to an Apple Watch design. You're gonna press this button right here, and then it just simply pops out. And the same on this side there. Press this little button on the bottom there, and it slides out. In the Apple Watch design, you actually press the button, slide left or right, but the same kind of concept. It's pretty well locked in there. It's not gonna like pull out very easily. I'm giving it a fair bit, and it's not coming out. So you're good there. That allows you to, of course, just swap to the smaller bands or to the accessory bands there that you see. This watch here is waterproof to 50 meters, which is really the first time that Fitbit's gone out there and done a legit full-on watch that's waterproof to 50 meters. All their past units have always had like we're waterproofed, but not really waterproof. You can take it in the shower, but please don't. So finally, I got it right. And that's partially because this is an entire unibody design. So this whole metal piece here is one single machined aluminum body, and then they layer the glass in there, and then everything else is sealed up from there. So there's not really a lot of other points where they're melding together different materials that make it more difficult to waterproof. Anyways, as for the charging cable itself, if you use micro USB, you have to do an internally waterproof USB port. There's been some success in that in the past with some companies, but most companies find that over time that shits the bed, and therefore they just go with a simple proprietary connector that allows them to have no actual ingest into that right there on the back of the watch. Next, let's look inside this paper booklet right there. We'll crack this open. It says don't watch, go. So we won't watch, we'll just open it up. So right here, we've got, just looks like a quick start guide. Tells you to download the Fitbit app itself, which of course definitely need to do to be able to use this watch. And then on the back side, we have some pretty pictures because they had extra space apparently. Here is the safety and instructions warranty card. The usual, please don't kill yourself, and if you do, it's not their fault. With that, we are out of things in the box itself. Let's go ahead and weigh this in. So I've got up here a little scale. I like to just weigh the watch and kind of see what it looks like. Right now this will sit, we'll do grams. So with the large band, it sits at 47 grams. We pop off the large band real quick and then just put the small band on there, and let me get rid of the tape in case that matters. So 45 grams. So you save 2 grams by going to the small band. And then just for comparative size, here is the 38 mil Apple Watch Series 2. That sits at 51 mil, or 51 grams, 52 grams, 51 grams. It's slowly sliding. Put that right in the middle. There we go. Anyways, you get the point. It's basically in the same ballpark as the Ionic. And then here is the Garmin 735. I can't find my 235, which is a more comparable unit to this, to be honest. But that's fine. Right now, it's 41 grams. It's almost the exact same shell between the 735 and the 235 anyways. So you just kind of get a picture of things there. Keep in mind, this does not have music on it, whereas these two do. In the inverse side of things, this does have much more functionality from a sports perspective than these do from a default anyways standpoint. And, you know, once we talk about third-party apps, that could be different down the road. Okay, because this is an unboxing video and we have at least 3 more boxes on this table, I'm gonna crack into the 2 watch bands, the wristbands right here, but I'm going to leave the Fitbit Flyer for later on. So I'll move this stuff out of the way real quick right there. And get that there, here we go. So we're gonna start off with a leather band just to walk that through. So down the bottom here, we've got the little sticker thing. It's not too bad. Crack it open and then pull out the box inside. And you can see here, this leather band, just 2 simple straps. That should be all that's inside of this. Yep, nothing else, that's it. So this leather is a real leather. It says genuine leather right in the back there. And it's gonna snap in just like the other ones did. So I'm gonna go ahead here and just simply take this in the back and snap it in. And on this side right there, as it squirms away from me, snap in, and we're done. And it's really that simple. We can do it again though, just for fun. So we got the sport band here. You know, the bands kind of come up with there's 3 variants. There's a stock band, there's the sport bands, and there's what I would call the swanky bands. So those are 3. They start off at, I believe, 29 bucks, and then they go up to a whole bunch more. I'm sure over time we'll see Fitbit introduce many more bands for this, but that's kind of the defaults from the launch standpoint. And if we crack this box open here as well, open this and pull this out. There we go. So this is the orange copperish sport band, and we do the exact same thing, just to show again how quick and easy it is to swap bands, which is really what they're going for here. The idea that you can do this, you know, before you head out in the town. And I must be doing something wrong because it's not. There we go. And it doesn't take a long time. You're not having to use tools or anything like that. And you can see this is a totally different look now compared to the other bands here. You know, it's definitely a lot more sporty look. And this band itself is far more aerated and far more comfortable, I promise you, than the stock band, which to me just doesn't feel very pliable at all. So there you go, just for fun, because I've been wearing this the entire time, just to show you a couple things to the user interface. Here is the watch itself. So what you see there is it's totally touchscreen. The touchscreen itself is actually slightly curved. That's a design decision they made to make it feel more rounded on your wrist, and they had a big, long philosophical explanation for that, all of which is it's just a pretty screen. So I can swipe here. Now at this point, it's going to ask me for my passcode, and the reason is because I'm using the Fitbit Pay, and Fitbit Pay allows me to go ahead and basically pay for things with my credit card on this. And so once I enable that, it requires a passcode if I take it off my wrist, and just like the Apple Watch does, for example. But I can simply swipe through the apps here, and you can see different ones. So if I go with this page right there, I've got the Today page, which is sort of the overview of what you've done that day. Exercise, weather, Pandora app. It does not have cellular in it, so it's not going to do live streaming. Instead, it syncs that data using Wi-Fi because the unit does have Wi-Fi inside of it. And now, hopefully I don't, there we go. We got got the wallet to access my credit cards. Starbucks card is a separate app that allows you to use your Starbucks card. You simply load the card onto here like you would load it onto your phone or anything like that. And then we have timers, alarms. Strava allows you to view your Strava activities, settings for setting the watch up, Relax, which is basically a breathing exercise type of app, and then the Fitbit Coach, which is one of their 3 different premium services they have that allow you different coaching type exercises. And then last but not least, if I wanted to pay for something, I would simply hold down this button on the left-hand side, and that would bring up the payment screen. And you can see right there, that payment screen is up, and I go ahead and just hold this near the contactless reader that's at a store wherever I am, and it pays instantly, and then I can look at the receipt later on my phone itself. Okay, so there you have it, an unboxing of the FITBIT IONIC GPS smartwatch. Definitely check out my full kind of detailed video on this watch, all the new features. I walked through them all up there in the corner. Also, don't forget to check out the headphones over there. That is also released at the exact same time as this. And then most importantly, in the link in the description down there at the bottom is my full post on the FITBIT IONIC. There's tons more detail there, descriptions, accuracy testing, all that goodness is right there. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.